Fellow nerds, we are talking Ahsoka Part 3, Time to Fly.
Time to fly.
Unfortunately, it was way too short.
It was.
It was. It
That
flew
is,
by.
the only, that is the only complaint I can come up with this episode because
Same.
I was ready to see the brawl in the forest.
Mhm.
Once again, we're jumping.
I
to the
was
end.
Whoa,
too.
hold up. I'm sorry, the brawl in the forest? You mean the massacre? Have
Yeah.
you seen the episode of The Mandalorian where Ahsoka was introduced in live action? Yeah, she fights pretty darn good in the forest.
Yes, she does. Yeah, that first episode too.
It's almost
Ah.
like she's a war veteran.
Right?
It's almost like she's done some stuff.
And some things.
War.
I wouldn't
There's
recommend
no
it.
war. There's no wars. They're like, an advanced society owning a whole galaxy. There's no war.
I know
What are you, the
wars not
Senate?
make one great. So
You're the Senate, aren't you? That's all they talk about is not
I am
having
the
a
Senate.
war.
I am the Senate.
the whole thing.
Jedi
will
only
return.
use the Force for defense, never attack. Due to Ahsoka cutting people's heads off and Chopper threatening war crimes against a planet.
Yeah, we didn't get another war crime from Chopper this week. I
Yeah,
was a little
yeah, I
upset
know.
about that.
Doug, he doesn't threaten war crimes. He just commits them.
Yeah,
He
It's
is
true.
He's all action,
He's
no
dedicated.
talk.
he is. He is definitely a no talk kind of
Yeah, who
no
programmed that
nonsense
thing?
droid.
So that's why Hera doesn't let him sit in
Yeah.
in control of one of the guns or something.
Now, I hate to jump to the middle of this episode, but bringing up
Oh, do you hate to?
what Hera does with Chopper, she was
Mhm.
letting him babysit Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
that's a
what
bad
good
already have-
parenting that was.
I would say I have a theory, but this isn't a theory. This is confirmed.
Mhm.
Jason Sandula, or Jason Doom, or Jason.
Yeah,
whatever,
I think he is Jason
He-
Syndulla. I don't think he
he
took
is-
the Doom.
he is going to be a Sith and the main enemy
Ah,
in Rey's Star Wars trilogy or Jedi Academy. You don't
Okay.
have a known war criminal watch your
Yeah.
kid.
Watching your kid.
I'm reeling that in. I'm reeling that in right now.
It's
He's
not
like,
fair. It's-
Jason,
it-
you like bombing people? And
ah.
because I do.
Dave, you can't reel it in because
I
it's
can-
not a theory. It was confirmed with the fact that Chopper and Jason hang out together.
I
See,
can
that's-
already imagine just like
Yeah.
the Emperor as he's like goading Anakin on or goading Luke, and he's just like, yes, good, do it. Chopper is like, see that guy over there? Push him down the hole. What?
Yeah, why
Are
don't
you
you,
sure, Chopper?
yeah.
Yeah.
Set him on
Yeah,
fire.
Strip that dude. I've never
Hey,
seen
no,
a person on fire before.
look
What
at
do
that.
they
That's-
sound like?
It's a thermal grenade on the floor.
Yeah.
You should throw it
Why
at
don't you
that
throw
guy.
that at somebody?
Now, Keith, we
Little
can't be
chip.
lying to our crowd and saying that it was confirmed. So we can't do that.
Oh, come on.
So
We're
I'm taking
not
it.
we're not emergency awesome or whatever.
I reeled it in.
Confirmed.
You
Darth-
heard it here first, people.
You heard it here. Yeah, on Emergency Awesome or Everything Always or Cosmic Wonder, we confirmed it.
Darth Doom
Beat
coming
you
in
to the
Rey
punch.
Jedi.
Darth Doom.
Darth Doom. Oh my
We'll-
god, that's great. It's so
Right?
cheesy. It's perfect.
Played by Josh Hartnett.
I can already hear George like, yes, that's what I always planned. Darth Doom.
Oh yeah, Darth Doom. Yeah.
Yeah, what-
Yeah,
but it's an umlaut on the U, so it's
Yeah.
spacey.
The old umlaut.
And it's
Well, if they
got
go
set-
by like the stories of like if Jason Syndulla is supposed to be Jason Solo from Extended Universe,
Hmm.
Keith, you might have a point. So yeah.
I mean, we always talk about
Mhm,
how how they like to pull out of their toy box and
Exactly.
bash their toys together, and
Mhm.
everything that's non-canon
Don't we
can
all?
be canon again.
Yeah. And they're doing a good job at that. So
I'm still, man, I cannot wait to see Thrawn. I swear though, if they wait until like the last episode,
oh my god. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of, Doug, is I think what if like the last scene is what we saw in the trailer of him just
Mm.
walking up on the
Yeah.
IS Ion and
it's
that's
just
all
a
we
setup for
get.
the next season.
Just like
Well, when's
do the-
the
what?
movie coming out? When's Filoni's movie coming out? It's supposed to be 2027.
It's
They
supposed to
haven't
be like
announced it
second
yet?
run. Yeah,
I think there's one coming out in 2025, one 2027.
That's the Rey
one
movie.
2029.
Have-
And I
yeah.
Have
So
think
they have room for
2027
one
is
more
the Filoni.
season.
Did they even start filming or anything yet?
No,
Then that's
Not
probably all
yet.
pushed.
it could be.
Probably. Yeah, it's going to
absolute-
be even farther up.
Yep.
Absolutely.
He said it again, guys.
Absolutely. I'm gonna have to have so
Hey,
many
Thunder
tea
Walker's
breaks.
here.
Oh.
Oh,
Thunder
he's stuck it
Walker,
out.
welcome. Hi
If
and
Mario
bye.
Speedwagon isn't in this episode, he's gonna be pissed.
Only 10 minutes in, ducking
Well,
out.
you know, he's got to leave, so I guess it's time for him to fly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bazinga!
all right.
that was good.
Ding, 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 ding. But getting
But hey,
back to this episode,
Let's start at the beginning, like the first
Yes.
scene where she puts the blast shield on her face, and that
The
callback to
period
New
of
Hope,
Civil
where she
War.
says, Sabine says the same line. I can't see how am I supposed to fight. I
Yeah,
thought that
a
was
lot of
great how they brought
homage.
that back to A New Hope.
Right.
That was
A
perfect.
lot of homage to A New Hope in this episode, particularly too, with the gunfight as well. But yeah, that was beautiful with what they were doing, bringing in more of the samurai techniques into that, which is what George Lucas based all of this stuff off of with the Jedi. It was beautifully done with the wooden sticks and everything too.
Oh yeah.
man.
and the way Hu Yang was doing the things, and then they were measuring
Oh.
the cuts and where she went through it. I was like,
Yeah.
man,
That's impressive. You're finally getting like a new side and a new view of the Jedi themselves, which I love. It's really refreshing to finally get like new information out there. It's like, whoa, this is really cool. I haven't seen this before in live action. So that was really awesome.
And the one thing that I was thinking about while she was training is that scene in Rebels when Kanan was training her.
Right.
And she was doing very poorly until she started incorporating her Mandalorian training into it. Then the Darksaber got a little lighter. And all I can think of is that is how she's going to beat, and maybe not next episode, but I think eventually she's going to beat Shin in a duel. And it's going to be because she is doing things that she was trained to do from an infant. And it's going to be
Right.
the Mandalorian training with some Jedi training walked in there. And I think they're setting it up with the whole way they set up all of this training in this episode, because they've multiple times have said she is the least adept with the Force than anyone.
Well, see, that's why I don't think it's necessarily going to be Jedi training. I think because even Ahsoka hints at that when she's talking with Hu Yang. She, he asks her, how's it going, and he says, well, she wouldn't have been accepted as a Jedi, and she goes, well, I don't need her to be a Jedi, and that's so true
Need
because
her to be herself. Yeah.
right, she needs her to be herself, and so yeah, I think you're correct, Keith. I think she
Skywalker.
is going to fight like a Mandalorian, but I also think she's going to be very susceptible to the dark side. So what little Force acclamation she has, I really think she's going to fight with her emotion like she was in her training with Ahsoka, with the blast shield on, the way that she was kind of getting angry that she wasn't getting any hits in, and she's kind of swinging and yelling, and I think that that's what is going to work out for her. But she's got to be careful because I think that she may let her emotion and her anger get to her when facing off against Shin Hati again.
Yeah. And that was beautiful too, how Ahsoka presented the dark side to Sabine as well. It's like, it's a quick way to get some power, but it will bring you off balance as well. I was like, that was beautifully said. Like, I think as a regular audience member, like, you would get a lot more out of it, and you would understand a little bit more why going to the dark side is not the right path for these people to do, because you become imbalanced like that. I was like, man, this is on fire.
You know what else? They had so many great lines in this when Hu Yang said, well, you do come from a long line of non-traditional Jedi.
Traditional Jedi. Yeah.
That's an understatement.
All
yeah.
these, right.
She's
I know.
too
I was
old.
like, oh,
Too old to be
Too
good
old.
trained.
Nope, I cannot train you.
yeah, but it's
Oh, but
beautiful.
yeah,
It's
she's
getting
not
back to
training.
basics.
Yeah, she's not training her to be a Jedi. She's
Right.
training her to be a Force user, which I think is awesome.
Well, I mean,
And
she
I pulled
stated a couple of times in the first episode when arguing with Hu Yang. Well, I'm not a Jedi, so she. Well, this is a Jedi protocol. Well, I'm not a Jedi, so
Yeah.
I
We're
love
not the
that.
Jedi.
I love that Ahsoka brought that back against Hu Yang, because in the 1st
Mhm.
episode she's like, "Why were you so far away? Jedi protocol states." And they came out of hyperspace early, and he's like, "Why are we doing this? Oh, Jedi protocol." And I was
Jedi protocol.
like, "Yeah, get him, Ahsoka."
Yeah.
and
she
then
got
when
him
she shut
again when
down,
they turned him off.
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
Same
it's
He's the
Jedi
one.
protocol, and he's like, I can't argue with that.
Right.
He's the one who said
Yeah,
Jedi
absolutely.
Protocol the first time.
He
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Sabine asked, "Why are we pulling out so early?" Oh, pulling out. It's a family show. Sorry.
That's your status quo. Not safe for work, guys.
Like we've said, we are voted 3 years in a row on Twitch the most family-friendly channel
Yeah,
on Twitch.
right.
So thank you once
There's
again.
a
living
lot
up to
of
our name.
gutter trash on Twitch, I guess.
Look, at least we're keeping our clothes on, okay?
Yeah, right. So
Some of us.
Well,
You can only
if
see
you
my shirt.
insist.
yeah. Oh god.
Here, you want me to stand up? No.
And we lost every viewer after that.
Right.
All went away. But David Tennant is doing an amazing job with Hu Yang. I'm loving this droid. He's one of my favorite droids now so far in this
Mhm.
series. Just absolutely killing it. Just like, it's funny. It's a little bit of comedic relief. Absolutely.
So
But I do
incredibly
enjoy that.
matter of fact with him.
Oh, it is.
Anything with David
That's
Tennant.
exactly what a droid would be like.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? I'm like, oh,
It's my
full
programming.
logic.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, Sabine sucks. What can I say? It's
I was
just
only
what
telling
she
her the
is.
truth.
Yeah, exactly.
It's his programming that keeps him up with the protocols for the Jedi. Who
Mhm.
programmed Chopper?
Oh,
Some psychopath.
honestly, I don't
Pretty
think
much, yeah.
he's sticking to his original
Yeah.
program anymore. I think he's gotten like a glitch or a bug or something's off with him, and he's just been getting crazier and crazier, whatever the equivalent is for a
Yeah.
droid over the years,
Yeah.
because you saw him like over the course of Rebels, like he got worse.
Yeah. And it's like, R2D2 got better because his memory wasn't wiped, but Chopper gets worse. Two diametrically opposed droids right there. And if you guys haven't seen the new book just came out too, From a Certain Point of View, the audio
Really?
book for Return of the Jedi just came out, and there's one
That's awesome.
one story in there about droids and how they get their memories wiped all the time. And R2D2 actually talked to one of the droids at Jabba's palace,
Uh-huh.
and that droid decided not to have their memory wiped again, so they were able to keep their consciousness and then kind of think for themselves. I'm like, ooh,
Oh,
that's
wow.
really cool. And I
Yeah.
hope that they explore that more as we go along, because droids are always a part of this world, and if they don't get their memories wiped, they're going to be more conscious, and we're going to be able to have more stories about that kind of stuff, which is really cool.
And I
Good
know it's kind of
audiobook so far.
I know it was used as like a throwaway joke at the end of Revenge of the Sith, but like when they're like, walking on the ship and wipe that protocol droid's memory, and it's C-3PO.
I know.
He's like, wait, what?
It's like, huh?
Well, they had to figure out a ways that he wouldn't remember Anakin.
Yeah.
I mean, that,
Yeah, they did. It was part of the story. He had to.
Yeah.
No getting around
And,
that one.
Nysith, welcome. Nysith is in the chat.
Oh, Nysith.
Always
What
a pleasure
up?
to hear you.
Welcome, good sir. Yo. And I just loved too that we're getting back to basics. I was trying to say this earlier, like with the Force. This was the original intent
Yes.
that George Lucas had from the original trilogy, was that anyone could use the Force with practice and
Yes.
training. And I gotta say, and I pulled this up too. There was during the making of Return of the Jedi, Lawrence Kasdan and Lucas were talking about this very thing. And Kasdan said the Force was available to anyone who could hook into it. And Lucas told him, yes, everybody can do it. And Kasdan replied, not just the Jedi. And Lucas replied, it's just the Jedi who take the time to do it. And Marquand, the director, he said, they use that as a technique. They're kind of like trying to talk about the story and outline what's going on. And then Lucas goes on to explain, like, like yoga, if you want to take the time to do it, you can do it. But the ones that really want to do it are the ones who are into that kind of thing, also like karate. So it's a skill that you can get better at. And I like that. And I love, too, that Sabine Wren is working on this skill. And I love, too, that they didn't just have her move the damn cup. I was like,
Yeah.
I love that. It
I was waiting
feels
for it.
earned. Yeah, I know. I was too. I was like, oh my god, she's gonna move the cup, and it's not gonna feel very earned,
Right.
You know, and I feel way more invested in her learning to practice in the Force and the Jedi because she's not skilled. It brings a lot more depth to this character that we didn't see in the Chosen One idea or with Rey's. You know, I'm not gonna say Skywalker. I did just say Skywalker, didn't I?
Well,
Palpatine.
if Sabine had
Rey
just
Palpatine.
had a
Yes.
magic
Thanks,
grandpa,
Dave.
then you know
Yeah.
she would have been good at the Force. Everybody
Yeah,
knows
so-
if you have a magic grandpa.
Well, she is
go.
related to Tar Vizsla.
Mm-hmm.
But
All
was
right.
Tar
Yes.
Vizsla a magic grandpa?
She's
He was
she's
a-
Or was he a
part of
magic
Vizsla's
great
clan.
grandpa?
Great.
Too many
Mhm.
greats.
No,
Yeah,
but
the
that was
Wren
one of the points I
family is
wanted to
part of
make.
the Vizsla clan. Yep.
That's what I wanted to make. A point that I wanted to make is that I love how they're going to take their time with how Sabine is learning, you know, and that she
Yeah.
didn't move the
Me
cup
too.
right away.
Love it.
And this is going to be a thing throughout the entire series, how better she gets. I love it.
Yeah.
It doesn't
You
take
do.
much to do plot and character development, and that's
Mhm.
what it is. Right? Dave
Yeah.
Filoni understands that.
Oh, it was
Absolutely.
excellent character development, and you know we've talked about it on this this show before. Is the best directors, the best writers show you the character development. They don't just
Yep.
tell you about it. They don't, you know, include in the script. Oh, Sabine, did you finish your training over there? Boy, you sure have gotten better. No, they show you. And I love that. I
Mhm.
love that. Like, basically, the majority of this episode was us getting to know Ahsoka's training style and, you know, getting to
Yeah.
see Sabine relearning. And honestly, I ended up telling these guys in our Slack chat, I'm like, I think Ahsoka is one of the best Jedi trainers we've seen. I'd
Oh,
say she's better
by
than
far.
Obi-Wan even.
Yeah, I would
Whoa,
agree.
slow
The-
down.
Just
It's only been an
the
episode.
patience
Obi-Wan's
that she
track
had for
record.
Sabine, and she was, you know, she was calmly explaining everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
Right.
nice too because
Yeah.
when they were in the dogfight in space, and it took Hu Yang to say, "I won't. We're with the way you two are going, we'll be dead anyway." And she was
Yeah.
like, instead of being like, "Don't sass me," she's like, "You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
Let's do it a different way." And she's willing to look at
Mhm.
other avenues and what's going to work best because the best teachers
So
are the
great.
ones that look at their student
Adapt
and go, "What's going to be best for you?"
Yes.
Not
right.
this has worked for 70 years. You're getting it or you're out. And I
Yeah,
think they
agreed.
are setting up Ahsoka to be very much
Yeah.
what's going to work best for Sabine. And it's going to pay off, you know, by the end, hopefully by the end of the series, by the end of Filoni's movie. And we're going to, you know, build up to an almost, you know, Captain America wielding Mjolnir in Endgame. Because that was something that they worked out for years and years. And when he did it, you were like, awesome. She's not going to be, you know, Chris made a good point, and I think we all agreed, not moving the cup
Mhm.
Yeah.
is something that she's going to build on. You know, that character
Mhm.
development that Dave was talking about too.
Start small.
They're doing a great job of not moving it too fast and giving
Yeah.
just enough to keep it moving along.
I agree.
Agreed.
If we shift our attention from the Jedi training, how about Hera in this episode, huh? How about when she addresses the council? She does not back down.
No nonsense. I love that Hera's being no nonsense with his people and just dealing with the politicians and
Oh, yeah.
whatnot. And I guess the guy, that senator too, that's right next to Mon Mothma in the
Mhm.
books or something, he eventually does become chancellor as well. So he's eyeing for Mon Mothma's spot as
Ah.
well. So
I view that
Yeah.
scene very much like American politics. Like,
Yeah,
all right, we've got
totally.
this threat. I got to go out there and make sure that
okay.
it's not a threat. And they're like, screw you.
I know.
No, the
know,
best
have you-
was I loved Sabine had, I mean, not Sabine, Hera had two amazing lines in that when she's like, well, these ex-Empire have swore an oath of, you know, loyalty. And she's like, long live the Empire.
Long
Isn't
live
a
the
loyalty
Empire,
oath that we're looking for. And I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
oh, damn.
Boom! Drop that mic.
And the other line was
Yeah.
what she said to the senator, right?
Were you in the
I
war?
forget what it was.
Were you in the war? Just
Right.
stay on the sidelines and see who came out on top.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's absolutely man, I love that part. I loved all that little bit. And the defense
Just a
absolutely.
little
I'm just gonna
dribble.
say it.
Not a full sip,
Absolutely.
just a little.
But having this defense fleet kind of I'm wondering about this because like we've heard in other shows that like they're disbanding their fleet and everything, but we see in this episode that there's a pretty sizable fleet out there. And I looked this up too, and I guess what they're saying is this defense fleet was around during the sequel trilogy, but it was near Hosnian Prime when it got blown up. So
Right.
that's where it was. And obviously this kind of stuff was probably happening with the New Republic as well. Couldn't go out and do the things that they needed to, and that's why Leia created the resistance and everything else, because you can't deal with the damn politicians.
Honestly, I like that they're bringing that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Duke it out.
I was just going to say,
rock scissors.
For one, I love politics in Star Wars. We saw it in Andor. But when the one lady was like, they are broken and scattered with no central leadership. And all I thought of was almost the exact mirror scene from Mandalorian season 3 when they were, when the Imperials had their little confab. You know, and Captain Pelion was talking about Thrawn coming back, and Moff Gideon was like, well, I'll believe it when I see it. And I'm like, they have no idea that they think everything's fine. We're good. They're not gathering forces. We got them on the run.
Not at all.
And that's going to be their
Shadow
downfall.
Council. Yeah. And it makes me wonder too if any of these senators are like loyalists to the Empire as well. You know, just hiding under the radar. Probably, and we're probably going to get to see that too in this show, because it's like, man, it's so hard to see this new Republic, like especially after Return of the Jedi. It's like, oh, everything's great. You know, galaxy's back to normal, but no, like they are just dropping the ball left and right, you know, just getting ready to be all destroyed like they are in the sequel trilogy.
We got a question in the chat.
Chat question.
Let's see. Why is Lilo blonde now? Why is she flying a fighter? She hasn't said multipass once. The show is so confusing.
I'm assuming that's
is
Shin,
that supposed to be
right?
Shin?
Yeah.
Shin Hati? She does kind of look like Lilo. A good comparison there, Tundra Walker. Multipass.
And by the way,
He likes to go off topic. He loves Ben Affleck's Daredevil. So
Yeah, I know. I've heard. I've heard this conversation, which is fun. But man, that dogfight too, like very reminiscent of A New Hope as well. You know, exact kind of same shots, and how they're actually showing the ships move. I'm like, that gives a lot of old trilogy vibes to me, which is really cool. So all around.
Speaking of Shin Hati in that dogfight, why was she trying to shoot at Ahsoka? The Jedi with laser bolt deflecting laser swords. Like, what are you trying to like? I get, you know,
she's young and wants to make a name for herself. So
goofy space war movie, but like
it's the adrenaline rush.
She wanted to say,
I got a Jedi.
I didn't kill Ahsoka by blowing up the ship she was in. I shot her off the wing. That would be, you know, the Sith would be like, whoa, nice job there, Shin. Good work. If you just, I blew up her ship, they'd be like, who cares?
Yeah,
nice
whatever.
Work, Shin.
I
blew up a ship
out into space.
That's like the whole Dr. Evil thing. Lower him into the tank of sharks. Okay, well, I've got to go now. Well, you don't want to stay and make sure he's dead? No. I have to go. I'm sure he'll be dead.
It's all
And
good.
by the way, the back and forth that we got between Morgan and Shin, I love.
Right.
Morgan's like,
Oh,
I'm
that was
surprised
great.
you let him get this far.
Yeah.
And then
And then-
Shin's like,
He's like,
Morgan, congratulations.
You
almost
almost
got her.
almost got her. Yeah. You almost. So sorry. But I always find it convenient too that like they're able to shoot down every single one of the grunts, but never ever any of the main antagonists in there. So we got Marok as well as Shin doing just fine,
Perf-
but everybody
perfectly
else
fine.
got shot down. You know,
Mhm.
I'm like, take a little bit of damage or something. That was like my one little qualm with this episode. It was like, okay,
Well, Shin
The
knew
the
what
plot
she's
armor was
doing.
very strong.
very
like,
strong with those two.
4 and 5 go in. And you know,
Mhm.
Merrick and her are hanging back
Oh.
while these guys are coming in and getting blasted
Oh,
by Sabine.
They don't have names.
They're all the
You're gonna
pawns,
die.
yeah.
Like being a
I
red
know.
shirt on Star Trek.
Right.
4 and 5
watch-
go in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My name is
Who's
Ted.
4?
Why did you
Yeah, I
call me
know.
4?
I kind of half wanted them to have some sort of little backstory with these like extra pilots. They're like, oh, I can't wait to get this done. I'm gonna see my kids after this. I
Oh,
just got
yeah.
a few more hours on ship. Security patrolling. Ah,
I'm gonna
there we
retire this
go!
Friday.
I know.
And then the
Retirement's
other
coming
one's
up,
like-
finally.
His voice is cracking. I just joined this group. I can't wait to. Oh.
Ah,
I'll be home
give them
shortly.
some personality.
So when they got the order to go and hunt them down in the forest, which they're all going to die, I
Yeah.
would love. I know it's probably not going to happen, but I would love an Iron Man 3 scene where we get the one grunt just like put his weapon down, and be like, I don't even. I surrender. These people are
Yeah.
all weirdos. I don't even want to be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't even know what they're doing here.
Yeah,
that'd be a
We're
great
go-
scene.
we're gonna see some tremendous Ahsoka action in that
Yeah.
next episode, and I love they saved it because we've seen in the trailers that Ahsoka and Baylan
They
kind of
clearly
fight.
make it to that like little, room
Mhm.
thingy. So
And
Yeah,
Ahsoka
you
know they're gonna get
squares
there.
off against Merrick. Yeah.
yep. So
I have a
What's
theory
happening?
on who Merrick is, and not my
Oh God,
joke.
another one.
not my
Dun-dun.
joke from Twitter. For those of you that don't follow us on Twitter, you should. I was joking because I don't think this is Ezra.
What's Twitter?
As cool. I'm sorry.
X.
I'm sorry. As cool as the Ezra theory is with the King Arthur stuff, there's
Mhm.
no way Ezra would ever be an Inquisitor. If he went to the dark side, he's going full dark side. And I don't think it's Barriss, Hothi. Redemption she needs, she's not getting it here. And I was jokingly saying it was going to be Kelleran back. Because then we get that Darth Jar Jar payoff somewhat. But that was a joke. I don't think who that is. But as I'm watching these episodes more and more, and how much airtime, how much sort of subtlety they're hinting at the Mortis gods.
Mhm.
yeah,
And we
Ooh.
saw in the Clone Wars that basically the sister gave up her life force to save Ahsoka.
Mhm.
What if that's the brother under that armor? And he is coming
somehow
hunting
got
Ahsoka, and he doesn't want to say who he is, so he just puts on Inquisitor armor.
I
So
thought
we
they
can
weren't allowed
hunt
to leave
after
the planet.
Well, Ahsoka did. She had the sister's life force, so maybe after she left,
Oh, did he possess
Think-
somebody? Maybe.
could be. But we keep seeing
it's always
Martez
possible for
sisters?
somebody else to go to the Mortis, ethereal world. So maybe it does happen. But I wonder, like, if it was the brother, why is he taking orders from these peons then? These
Mhm. I
dark
can't see
Jedis,
that.
and
because he's
Okay.
just walking along. He doesn't want to make too big of a wave because it'll draw too much attention. Because if you notice, he's like, he takes their orders, but he's not like, yes sir,
Yeah.
right away. And he doesn't seem to be mangled like most of the Inquisitors were under Darth Vader's
Yeah.
tutelage. So I just
And if you guys haven't seen it, the Mortis arc is during the Clone Wars animated television show. If you haven't seen it, please go. That's one
You
of
do
the
need to
best
check it out.
arcs in that.
It really is so
but-
good.
And the brother, and brother son, he was very manipulative with Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan during that time. So I would see him more coming to them as a friend type of thing, kind of like Sauron, from Lord of the Rings, coming to them as a friend, pretending to be on their side kind of thing, rather than just full out against them or whatnot too. So that's an interesting theory. That's for sure.
I hadn't
So-
seen it yet, so I was like, I
Yeah.
better get it out there before.
I know everybody is saying Ezra, and I'm just like, oh, please do
I have
not
a-
let this be.
I have
Ezra.
a way more boring
Yeah.
theory that you guys aren't
Yeah.
gonna like.
Okay.
I was about to say the boring theory is probably going to be the right one.
Yeah.
I think he's just a new character. I don't think he's
Yeah.
anybody that we've met before. I think he's
I would appreciate that. That would be fresh to me. It's like, yes, thank you. Like, leave that character just be whatever it is.
I think
but like if you
he was like the 12th brother or something, and you know,
Yeah,
he's
just a
like he's out of
leftover
a
Inquisitor.
job now, and he's like, well, shit. I mean, I still got this sweet lightsaber and this awesome armor. I guess I'm a bounty hunter now or something.
Yeah.
He's actually
leave it to Dave Filoni to do something like that.
The 57th brother. And he's like,
Right.
what happened to the other 56? You don't want to know.
Well,
we
we
need you
know
to hunt down some Jedi.
Keith doesn't like any fourths. He doesn't like the fourth sister. So you do 3 times 4. That's 12th brother.
Well, since we got 4 people on here, is this really bothering you, Keith?
It's driving me nuts.
Dang it.
Yeah, I gotta go.
I'm sorry, guys.
Until we see that second season of Obi-Wan, when that 4th sister gets what she got coming,
Whenever that.
I just will not be able to
She's
rest.
getting promoted, is what's going to happen.
She's going to be the main character of the next season of Obi-Wan.
She's gonna have her own show. She's gonna call the fourth sister.
Right.
Yep, the 4th sister. Yes, perfect.
And when
so
we're
for,
reviewing
like-
it, I am sitting here like this.
Just hating every moment.
Stupid.
Of it. Oh,
Can't stand this bullshit.
It's going to be fantastic, Keith. Fantastic.
12 episodes, all an hour or longer?
Oh, you know it's going to be like 18 episodes. You're like an Andor run.
Directed by Michael Bay. All of them.
Yeah, all of them. A lot of low
And she'll
angles, a lot of blowing up of stuff, and
And she'll just
Lot of
keep
girls
in
barreling,
skimpy
avoiding
outfits.
being killed.
Right.
Wow, that one almost
What'd you
got
get-
me, but I escaped again, Keith. Wait, why is she talking to me?
Well, you guys talk about music a lot. What did you think of the battle music on this? It reminded me again of the original trilogy.
yeah, same thing. Like Kevin Kiner is just a 100% killing it with this soundtrack. I am absolutely loving. Oh crap!
All right.
Why do I do this to myself? But I love it so much, and he's doing such a good job bringing homage back from the original trilogy, as well as bringing a new spin with all this kind of stuff, which is really cool to see. So yeah, as a music lover myself, I'm very much appreciating it. So,
And the one thing it has done, which I'm sure will make Dave very happy,
Mhm.
it has kicked out the Batman theme from living rent free in my head because it is now there. I was making dinner the other night and going, doom, 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 doom,
yeah,
doom,
right.
like the thing, and I'm just like, Sully's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Oh, sorry." I still hear you, Dad. I'm sorry.
I will forever have the Neomos song stuck in my head, mostly because we use it as the end song of all of our videos, but also it was just such a banger in Andor.
Oh, nice.
Space Miami.
I've got the "Everybody Move Your Body" song always in my head because I'm always waiting for "Not Your Status Quo" on here. Do, 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 do.
Yeah, they're really killing it with Ahsoka and what's Andor. And
Andor, yeah.
Mandalorian ain't half bad either.
It's not half bad. Nicholas Bertel was the composer on Andor. Yeah, he did an outstanding. They're doing a great job just hiring these amazing composers. I love it. Like, yeah, the caliber of composers that we're getting are amazing. Ludwig Göransson as well. Joseph Shirley was who worked on Book of Boba Fett, and he worked under Ludwig Göransson for The Mandalorian as well.
Loved the theme song for Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett had its problems, but that theme song, it was outstanding. And then when they merged the Book of Boba Fett song with the Mandalorian theme, I just sploosh.
Yeah. And like that was that theme was actually based off of like a Scandinavian old time song. I forget which one it was called, but Ludwig Göransson actually composed that piece itself too.
Nice.
And so he drew a lot of inspiration from that. And it was he did. I love it. I love that they're drawing in from these different cultures and everything for this music, which is amazing. And we got a lot of those Japanese motifs too in this episode.
Just want to give a shout out to Sierra out in the chat. Thank you for
Sierra!
joining us. Talking a little Ahsoka this evening with our good friend Chris from Fatherly Fandom.
Yeah. I'm on here, guys. This is incredible. I only had to pay him $100. It was great.
Wait, you guys got paid?
No.
Sorry, Doug. I probably should Venmo you a couple bucks here and there too. But
And if you
Keith's in
haven't
charge,
seen-
so I just
Sierra put Sierra, Sierra's an artist.
Oh.
I'm gonna pimp my daughter for a minute.
Oh,
She
jeez.
put on a new painting
My
today.
daughter.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's on. I shared it on Facebook. If anyone's
Oh.
my friend and they want to see it, she's pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
will-
Yeah, my daughter is an artist too. I love that
Nice.
about her. We've got paint all over the house. Like you can't get it out of the carpet. Whoa! Did she do that, Doug?
Yep.
That is
She made this
awesome.
for me.
But yeah, and the one over my shoulder here, it's called Dad Pool.
Thunder. Oh, Dadpool. Oh, and then Captain America. Oh, I love
Captain
it.
Keith.
Oh, that's perfect. Captain Keith at your service.
We will definitely not your status quo. We'll share that on Facebook after
That's
our
awesome.
stream here because she is a tremendous artist. She made all of our stuff for us, and I believe she's taking what is it called when artists take money to do things? Commissions. She's probably taking
Commissions,
commissions.
Yes.
Words are hard.
I know
Yeah.
words.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
the best
not a
at words.
wordsmith.
I have the
I
best.
do the talking.
I have the best
Well, you know-
commissions.
Being a scroll and being new to the English language, you're doing pretty good, Keith. So
Yay!
Oh,
me
yeah,
and
you know,
smart. Me and
Most
smart.
schools actually learn British English, so I can understand.
the proper, the
Yeah.
Queen's English or the King's English now.
Yeah,
But
it's
I-
Titans now.
I only speak Spanish with my British accent.
Wow. Well, I wonder, man, what would that even sound like? Hey,
Oh,
I can't even
I
do it.
I do a
Yeah, Mo.
really good Bostonian
Hey,
accent.
amo. Como
I,
está ustedes?
Whenever I'm imitating our old pal from the Mandalorian from Space Boston, I'm really good at doing a Bostonian accent.
Mhm.
All right, you guys ready for this?
I'm ready.
Do it.
All right.
Ready.
Do it.
Oi, going to the Dunkin' Donuts, shrimp on the barbie. There you
this-
go.
Oh yeah, that's
Perfect.
Boston all the way.
I knew
yeah.
it. Had it down pat.
You nailed it, mate. You nailed it.
And Sierra said, "Get the real Dave and Keith out of the basement,
What?
Doug."
What are you talking about? These are the real Dave and Keith.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
how
don't.
would- how
I
would
have
they do
no idea what you're
Yes,
talking
we are the real Keith and Dave. I am
about.
a human named Keith that has a long standing
Yes.
on this planet.
There's, have you guys ever watched the Dorkly bits, the little animated cartoons from College Humor?
Not that I
No.
know.
No.
They made one a couple of years ago about Metal Sonic, and he's supposed to be the robot duplicate of Sonic the Hedgehog. And it's
Oh,
hilarious
yes.
because he clearly looks like a robot. But
Mhm.
in this little animated short, they've got Tails is confused and he doesn't know which one is the real Sonic. And so he's asking them questions. And
Clearly.
Metal Sonic, it sounded just like Keith just did. Yes, I am the Sonic, the real Sonic, the Sonic the Hedgehog.
See, I always
if you
think
guys
of-
have ever seen the Metal Sonic, like, yeah, it's clearly a robot. Damn you, Tails.
I will
know
never
better.
forget the Powerpuff Girls episode where I believe it's Blossom gets hit in the head and she believes she's Mojo Jojo. And so Mojo Jojo's upset. He
Oh,
goes,
Jojo.
You cannot be the real Mojo Jojo because I am the real Mojo Jojo. There can only be one, and that is I.
Oh, yeah, I do
Silent
remember
rules.
that. Also. I am all Jojo.
And Tundra Walker just said Disney just took all of its channels off of Spectrum, including
Oh.
ABC, the ESPNs, and the FX. Well, all I can say is this, Boomer. Stream, buddy.
A lot of restructuring going on. CW is going away. Yeah, streaming. Seriously, yeah.
Look, you
Cable
know,
television. The way of the
I
dodo.
always chuckle. I don't know if any of you on the social medias are a part of your local neighborhood groups or pages or whatever, but I always chuckle to myself whenever somebody asks this question: what is the best cable company or the best internet provider in the city? And it's like, Oh, you poor sweet summer child.
Yeah,
None of them
you
are good.
Sweet summer child.
They're all terrible and they hate you. If you call them up and you say, "Do you have good service?" They'll say, "F you." Because where else are you
That's
going
quality
to go?
service.
Yeah, you don't really have much of a choice.
No
You
choice.
don't, and that's
Yep.
on purpose.
And they know it. They're like, eh.
And that is
Sorry.
my ISP rant for the night.
Mm.
Thank you. Tune in
Duly
to
noted.
every Tuesday night for
Right.
Doug and his IP rant.
Every Thursday, I will rant about your local internet provider.
And now the latest installment of what grinds Doug's gears with another installment of the local cable company. And once
Do
again,
you have any ideas on where we're going next? What's next for Ahsoka?
Oh, that's a good question, Dave.
Do you guys want to talk about the other big whale in the room first?
The Purgle? Let's talk about the
Yeah,
Purgle.
the star whales, which is what Hu Yang called them.
I love Hu Yang.
Yeah, Hu Yang.
when he's like, oh yeah, we just saw them. We did.
We did.
Yeah.
Because he was shut down during that time. I thought they looked amazing. The only thing I didn't like was that I didn't have a big screen. Like, I didn't see this in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
I keep telling myself I would love to see this series, particularly on the big screen, because it is so cinematic and just it was perfect.
I cannot
love that whole
wait.
chase scene.
I cannot wait for one of them to go into hyperspace because I want to see if they're going to add the lights to their tentacles.
Yeah, the pulsating tentacles that they have in the back. That would be so cool. And just seeing the shot in the Mandalorian of them there alongside in the hyperspace tunnel was beautifully done. I love the music too in that scene. The ethereal music that you got when Grogu was looking out to him. So yeah, I was hats off getting to see them full live in person there as we were going down into the planet.
This was a great callback to Rebels too, because if you remember that episode where they first met the Purgles, they consider them nothing but like, a nuisance. They didn't know much about them, just these space whales. Look, it's best just to shoot them and get them out of the way because otherwise they'll destroy the ship. Right? But if it hadn't been for Ezra actually connecting with them and being like, no, you guys, this is their territory and we're the ones kind of encroaching. We can get along with them. And if it hadn't been for that, I don't know if Sabine would have been able to maneuver the ship as well as she did, because I think having a better understanding of the Purgle, I think, is what allowed her to kind of know where she could kind of like fly around them and maneuver and know like where to get away from Shin and crew.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that was a nice scene when she flew under in a Purgle. It almost looked like it purposely sort of closed its tentacles together so she could get some space.
That was so cool. And Doug, you're right. You're 100% correct about that. And the beauty of this show too is I think it's working on two different levels. One level with all of us that have seen Rebels and Clone Wars and things like that. It's really paying respect to that. We get a lot of material out of that, but it's still very accessible to everyone else who hasn't seen it because they're explaining it in a very genius way. So all this, especially with the Purgles themselves, Hu Yang talks about them a little bit more, how they were what they connected with the hyperspace links between. Did you hear it? They said galaxies. So we might not have just one galaxy. There might be more out there too.
They might come to Earth.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Oh, are they gonna do
this is Battlestar Galactica, right? Oh no, wait a minute.
Right. Yeah.
I was gonna say either Battlestar Galactica or what was that movie that I just watched with Kylo Ren?
7 or 67,
65 or whatever.
Oh, 65 BC or something like that.
Where he was essentially the first human on Earth.
That definitely gave me Battlestar Galactica vibes. I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So shocking.
Right.
Your historic times. Excellent. So
I've got to take this dangerous space trucking job because we don't have enough money for space health insurance.
And so going back to the story too, I think that a detraction like for the Ezra is Morak theory is the fact that like when he was in there looking at the space whales, like he kind of was like a little shocked too. And I don't think Ezra has a deep connection with the Purgle. You know, he used them to get Thrawn out and everything. And so like I don't think that he would have had a problem navigating those Purgles as well. So yeah, that leads me to believe that that's probably not Ezra.
No, yeah.
Very good.
Also,
Very sound
had that been Ezra, he clearly would have used the Purgles to his advantage. Yeah.
Right, exactly. He could have used that with his force power, the beast mode or whatever it's called. Beast force.
Also, would they even need the special hyperspace ring if that had been Ezra and there were Purgle on that planet? Wouldn't he be able to get them to kind of coil around the ship and take it to wherever
they could? Yeah.
Holes in the planet.
Now, while we're speaking of the Eye of Sion, with the way it's being built, we know that the rings.
You know what's going in there?
Jedi. Yes.
Yep.
Are they going to fly out to that galaxy with that, and they're going to park Grand Admiral Thrawn's Super Star Destroyer in it and bring
the
that
Chimera?
Is that their plan?
Yes, they are. 100% they are. 100%.
Do you think that thing still even exists? I mean, one of the things that I remember from that episode of Rebels is weren't all the windows busted out and everything?
Yeah. And that was pretty interesting too, because like, how do you survive in space? You know, how did Ezra and Thrawn survive in space with all those windows busted out, going into hyperspace with the space whales? So, but
let's ask Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Dave, that's General Organa.
Oh, sorry.
She'll always be royalty to me, though. So
she'll always be Mary Poppins to me.
I mean, can you still be royalty if your planet that the royal family was from is gone?
Spoiler alert, Doug.
Right? Jeez, yeah.
I'm sorry if you have not seen a Star War.
And you're diving deep into Ahsoka and a show talking about Ahsoka.
Oh boy, that's going to be
going on
there's
here.
got to be. I guarantee there's going to be that one person out there. Yeah, so I turned on this Ahsoka and I don't know who any of these people are. What's going on? Why do they got laser swords? Why'd you move the cup?
What is this cool thing?
Why is one of the girls green?
You remember the times where Luke kissed Leia, right? He was looking for love in all the wrong places.
Alderaan places. Oh,
all right.
What a dad!
What a dad! It wasn't even cashed in
for that
out there.
No.
Dave's giving you a tease of what you might get if you cash in that dad joke with our channel points.
There you go. Very nice.
But you know, the other thing about the Purgle too that I wanted to talk about, because we know Morgan Elsbeth is building this giant, Eye of Sion, and I don't think they understand what the Purgles do, because like you were talking about in the Rebels episode, they're just like, they're eating all of our gas. They're just a nuisance and a menace. So they probably have no idea. But I think Baylan, when he saw them last episode and then he was kind of looking up again, I think he's almost getting an understanding of what they are. Like he sees the little Purgle and the star map thing, like they're kind of there, and I think he's starting to get an understanding, and I think this is just another way that he's eventually going to be turned more to the light side. And
you think he's going to get a redemption?
I think so. Because I think we've shown that Shin is pretty much dark side. I'm sorry, Lilo and Stitch. Pretty much Lilo and Stitch.
I know. I keep thinking of Lilo and Stitch too, Dave.
is pretty much gone. She's probably fully accepted the dark side, and accepted Darth Sidious as her Lord and Savior. And,
oh Lord,
Lord and Savior, Darth Sidious.
And if Merrick
Palpatine,
is,
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So,
Buddy Palpatine,
of course.
Well, for Papa
we're
Palpatine,
all for good guy Palpatine. Old Pops.
I forgot all about the good guy Palps.
And if Merrick really is, as Doug says, which is probably right, he's just a former Inquisitor that survived this long and was just basically hired up as a mercenary by Baylan to help, augment his ranks. We could get a pretty sweet. He's probably too far gone too to come to the light side.
Oh yeah.
So Baylan may be coming over by himself to help against them.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm fine with Merrick just being a new character, former Inquisitor.
Same.
We need that backstory though. Let's get.
We
some
have
backstory.
all these really great stories and these great characters already, and yeah, I think Baylan's probably going to have like the sacrifice play where he eventually comes back to the light and sacrifices himself to save the Jedi. Because
what if it's an unintentional sacrifice? So again, if we're playing on this is my what if, all right, or what's next, I guess. But
so what's next?
But you remember how I was talking about how he's kind of like a reverse of Obi-Wan, and how instead of these aren't the droids you're looking for, he just immediately opens up with lightsaber and you're dead.
Kill you, fool.
Right. So what if, so Obi-Wan, he intentionally sacrificed himself against Darth Vader. Like he knew that he was, well, my time has come. I'm going to be one of the Force. What if Baylan is running off to go and like give information to Ahsoka and Hera and crew, and like he's like, look, you know what? I have respect for you. I'm trying to help you out. This is what's going on. I don't want such and such to happen. The power isn't worth it. And what if Merrick ends up coming up and stabbing him in the back?
I was thinking, what if Shin stabs him in the
or
back?
Yeah, even Shin.
That's how the Sith do it.
Full on Sith, yeah. But
Well,
yeah,
nice
I could see him dying, but not expecting it, like an unintentional sacrifice where Obi-Wan planned on it.
Yeah.
I don't think Baylan is.
We got to bring up, so in that original Obi-Wan scene, like looking back on it now, since we've seen so much material and we've gotten more story and it's layered up, when Obi-Wan looks over and for the first time since they were born, he gets to see Leia and Luke together for the first time. He gives that little smile right before he dies. He's like, my mission is done. I've done everything I can. It's beautiful if you go back and watch that too. So I just wanted to bring that up.
And by the way, speaking of Obi-Wan Kenobi, for those of you like, I think Ahsoka
who is Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Kind of taking some things from Heir to the Empire, the first Thrawn trilogy, the Timothy Zahn. One of the things that one of the characters in that book is Joruus C'baoth, who was kind of like a mad Jedi. And I don't know if you know this, Timothy Zahn originally wrote him as a clone of Obi-Wan who had kind of lost his mind in the cloning process. And when Timothy Zahn went to Lucasfilm with that, they're like, nope, you're not doing it. It's not a clone of Obi-Wan. Make him someone else. So I do think you see a little bit of Obi-Wan and Baylan because that was the original intent for Joruus C'baoth.
Good point, Keith. Good point. And yeah, they did actually bring Timothy Zahn on board too with this show to get his seal of approval for it. And I wish I keep saying this all time and time again. I wish that they would bring on more of these writers from the books to actually be a part of the writing rooms for these shows and everything, and actually like be involved in the scripts and whatnot. But for some reason they haven't. I think it would really help to have that knowledge base right there and bring in all the best material that's just in hands grasp from the extended universe.
They will figure out the proper way to do it, and they will do it because that's just what they've done so far in 3 seasons of The Mandalorian and now Ahsoka.
Yeah, with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau at the head of this, like we are in good hands when it comes to that. It's good to see this, So I love where it's going. Tony Gilroy too, with the Andor show. So looking forward to every one of these shows now for different reasons too. So I absolutely.
He did it again. We gotta get Doug when he gets back.
God damn it! I love where they're going with each and every one of these shows and how different they feel. And this show feels differently than The Mandalorian. It feels differently than Andor, and so it feels differently than Obi-Wan Kenobi. And so it's good. You're getting a whole different view of Star Wars, but you're getting that Star Wars feel in there that we all are just jonesing for, because we gotta have our Star Wars, which is amazing.
We have our good Star Wars.
And you've got Caleb is in the chat. Welcome, you've got Caleb, and he's got an interesting theory because we were kind of talking about, maybe Shin turning on Baylan. He thinks Baylan is going to help Ahsoka Marok is going to kill Baylan, and then Shin goes absolutely berserk. This is a family show, so I'm not reading your quote. Sorry. And as far as we know, whether Baylan is teaching, Shin in the way of the Jedi or the way of the Sith, or just as a Force-sensitive, person, Baylan is probably the only parental figure she's known. So I think if Baylan dies, it probably won't be by Shin.
Oh,
that is an excellent theory.
That is
great theory, and that would set her off to the dark side, like fully committed to the dark side, and make her an even worse threat for them as well. Good job, Caleb, and absolutely bat guano, I guess you could say. If you're gonna say
you
that.
Said absolutely, Chris.
Oh crap! I said it. Oh,
Doug owes us 2.
oh guano 2.
But I do like
2 of
that
those
because
words, the A words.
as much as we've been saying, the power of 2, Shin is going to, take him down because that's how the Sith work. But they're not Sith. They're not Jedi.
No.
Right.
So that's probably not in their thing, because we already know with Marok around, he is another Force-sensitive, person. Yeah. So they're more than just the rule of 2. There's 3 that we know of, and there may be other. I look at them now as almost just like a mercenary group. Hey, you pay us.
Oh
we'll
yeah,
help
they're
you out.
definitely
We'll guard
mercenary
you.
for hires. Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of implied that in the first episode as well when they broke Morgan out of jail. So.
Yep.
You think Baylan would be taking Morgan's crap if he wasn't hired? No.
Yeah. And that just shows
I'm really
his Jedi
curious
training.
to see.
He is so patient with her.
He's very balanced.
Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we'll do it your way. Yeah. And then he's even like, when she's like, have your Padawan fly too, and he's like, yep, go to Lothal. Her former apprentice is on there, and yada yada yada. He like
gives her
knows
permission. He's like, yeah, it's not witchcraft. Go ahead and go.
Yeah, and he doesn't do it blindly. He didn't say he did say do as she says, right? But he doesn't. Yeah. He follows it up with a reason. He doesn't go like just do it because I said.
Very methodical.
Yep. Yes, I respect that.
Yep. I was gonna say it's his respecting the other. That's
why I like the character. Mm-hmm. It's like this is one of the few likable antagonists that we've gotten in a long time, and I'm digging it. So, and I do hope that
on
this
the show
character
is
does
likable.
die by the yeah.
Everyone has their moment on this show where you can like them. Every character is to be respected. There's no throwaway characters here.
True. Yeah.
Well, except for some of those pilots.
Well, yeah, the pilots.
I mean, they don't speak.
Billy, the pilot who was just about to retire.
Billy Bomber.
Yeah, Billy Bomber. Yes, exactly.
Yo, Fred and Billy, get
galaxy.
out here.
Yeah, Fred's last name is dies in the end. So they're not really deep characters.
I was promised I would die at the end. Shut up, you died halfway through. Yeah. But it was a short episode.
I thought you were gonna kill me last. I lied.
Whoa!
All of a sudden, Arnold Schwarzenegger shows up. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I lied.
Alyssa Milano.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my God.
Those were the days.
We'll have some steam in it.
I mean, Dave was asking earlier about what we think is next too, and I love that they have slow played the whole. We're getting the Eye of Sion ready. They're like, we got 6 hyperspace engines already. We got 1 more we got to do. They're not just blasting off to this other galaxy, which I cannot wait for them to get there.
Same.
They're not racing to it, and for me, if we only see Thrawn in the last episode only for a little bit, I'm fine with that, as long as everything building up to that is as quality as it's been now, because I mean they're taking their time getting things. They're not racing to anything. They're doing a good job of setting up the things that we already know are going to happen in the future. Having the New Republic be kind of buffoons and leaving it to that, and all the stuff they're doing just makes great sense. It's great to watch. And even like the spaceships, when you see those A-Wings flying amongst the Mon Calamari ships, they look great. There is 2 things that Lucasfilm always does. one, they make sure like their animation and their VX looks amazing, and they care about the music that's played. And it shows in all of the things they do. Rebels, you know, the Clone Wars, Ahsoka, it's really shining through. And I really hope they keep slow playing it, and we get like Ahsoka season 2, and maybe it mingles in with Mando season 4, leading up to that Filoni movie.
Yeah,
No, you
I
owe
really
two
hope.
absolutely's.
What's
So
that?
you got to take two. I'm sorry.
Two absolutely's.
It's all my fault. But yeah, I really hope that this show elevates the next season of The Mandalorian and whatever comes after it. And yeah, just especially the ships and everything in this. I'm wondering if they use models for this because they look so dang good.
They do
in
look good.
this show compared to some of the others. I'm like, these have got to be I'd love to see that. And we didn't talk about it the last week, but the Loth cat that Sabine Wren had on Lothal was an animatronic Loth cat, so it was a real prop that they had there. And of course, they probably digitally manipulated it for some scenes, but yeah, it was an animatronic thing that they use. So I love the practical elements too that they're putting into here, and it shows. It's just everything that's being put into the show is being presented to you on the screen, and it's just hands down awesome.
And now, you know, speaking of, you know, we were just kind of talking, I hope they don't blast off to the other galaxy anytime soon. I really hope they drag it out, because I think most of the Filoni movie, maybe Mando 4, maybe season 2 of Ahsoka, if we do get it, isn't going to be in this galaxy. I think it's going to be in that other galaxy.
Give us a whole new galaxy with bonkers stuff going on that we've never seen before, and magic and fairies and all sorts of weird stuff.
Fairies?
Yeah,
you're on the clock.
Yes, and in the new galaxy, the Sith shall rule, because somehow Palpatine returned again.
You, Palpatine?
Yeah.
You refer to yourself in the third person, Palpatine?
Of course.
Oh, he got redeemed.
He needs everyone to know who he is. very Deion Sanders.
I'm so weak. I'm just a weak Chancellor. No, I am the Senate.
That'd be funny if he just showed up with Mon Mothma in the Senate and just like pushed her out of the way.
Right.
I am the Senate.
Oh, hey, suddenly somehow Palpatine returned.
got a curly mustache, and he's just like, no, I'm not Palpatine. I am Senator Schmelpatine.
I am Uncle Thrawn.
Peeve Shalpatine.
I'm Peeve Schmelpatine.
No relation to this Sheev Palpatine guy you're talking about. I get it all the time, though.
But I hear he's a good guy.
I'm from Alderaan.
I hear he did a lot for the galaxy, employed a lot of people, got
Heard
a
he
lot of
was a
criminals
great
off the
guy.
street.
There wasn't this chaos during his reign.
He had order.
All I know is that when the Empire was in power, there weren't a bunch of whales flying around my world trying to block me from going into hyperspace.
Man,
There's
what
your
time
Boston.
frame
Has anyone ever told
Nice
you
Boston.
how good space whale tastes? Because, you know, Palpatine, obviously, he eats space whales. He would.
Oh,
I only like my Purgle as sushi.
You got to get it cut up by Obi-Wan Kenobi, though, on Tatooine.
crate dragon
Nice
meat.
fillets.
Purgo
That's a
tastes
Purgo.
delicious while the tails are still lit up. That's the best way to eat it.
They're a little stringy, but
The hyperspace, it gives it a good spice.
yes.
You know, everything has to have its
Nice
own
bit of
natural
umami.
predator. What do you think is the natural predator of the Purgle?
Porg.
Pork.
It just annoy him to death.
Oh, and
You see,
Sierra,
it's the
Sierra likes your
natural
background.
way.
Hey,
Sierra
thanks,
likes
Sierra.
your background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
probably
that dude a
do that
lot.
one.
Got my little Din Grogu with me as well.
That also looks tasty. It's a delicacy on my homeworld of not Naboo.
You see, you've got Caleb.
Not born there.
I'm his clone. I mean, half brother. You can call me Senator Shiv Palpatine.
Shiv Palpatine. Shiv. Even better.
Cloning? Oh, a magic only the Sith knew. No.
Yes.
No. A lot of people knew cloning.
Yeah. Have you met
Never
Rex
understood that.
and Cody and Fives and
Oh, I'm a
Literally
clone.
had 3 movies about this.
Or
even
Boba
me
Fett.
99? No, not you. Get out of here.
Not you.
You know what? Go mop. Oh man, I got stuff to do around here. You know what I'm talking about? The
Mop
Rick and
boy.
Morty reference. Who the heck is Noob? He's Noob.
So speaking of what's next too, I had this thought too, watching the episode. We've seen that Ahsoka in the Tales of the Jedi, she tamed that one like cat thing when she was a baby, right? So she kind of has the same type of force power, that Ezra had as well. What if like they go off for the Eye of Sion, and they're able to follow them using a Purgle and everything that takes their ship into hyperspace? Thoughts, questions,
No,
comments,
that-
concerns?
I like
Yeah,
it.
no, I think-
There are no concerns because that would make sense. I'm sure at some point we know they got to get over there because we're going to see Thrawn.
Right.
You know, there's a big battle on the red-leafed planet of whatever it is, Arcana.
Canada.
It's a
Canada.
C. Oh man, I was looking
How
at
red leaf?
Cetos. They're on the red-leafed planet of Cetos. Your 5 minutes is over too, Doug.
Oh, good.
And they're going to battle, they're going to fight, but eventually they're going to take off in the Eye of Sion, and they don't have the star map anymore. So I would say you are 100% right. They are going to use the Purgle because they know what they're
Purgle
doing.
it
They
up.
know what.
Purgle it up. I love it.
Dial in the Purgle.
Come here, you giant whale. You're
Yeah.
going to take us to that galaxy. Okay.
And then we'd be able to see them light up, Doug. You know, so we'd get the full Monty of Purgle. So
Oh, and then all of a sudden, they get stuck with like the one Purgle that's a little bit old and janky, and it
Oh,
makes
yeah.
the same noise that the Millennium Falcon makes.
Was this going to be?
Come on, baby, hold together, hold together.
Is this going to be a long time ago in a galaxy a little farther away now?
Farther away
Ooh,
Or are they,
Or
I
or are they
like it.
coming closer?
or
Yeah, they're
closer.
coming closer.
Yeah, my hair just did something crazy. There we go.
Not as far away. That'll be the
Yeah.
the
In
next
a galaxy kind of
Yeah.
far away.
when it ro-
Sort of.
when the scroll rolls,
Mhm.
it'll be like in a galaxy not so far away.
Yeah. I guess they'll have to update that too to galaxies. So
Yeah, really.
Well, and speaking of that, when Hugh Yang was talking, and he was talking about the Jedi archives, he had said multiple galaxies. It wasn't just this
Yeah.
one that they're going to now. So not only what's next are we going to see what's in this galaxy and how the Force is used differently and what other creatures and all that, they've opened it up where there could be a multitude
opened it up.
of galaxies that they can travel to. So I think they're laying little seeds for things that can come post all of this, post the sequel trilogy. Well, it wasn't
new
the sequel,
threats.
the sequel dual movies because there was only 2. We got Force Awakens and
Was there even that
The
many?
Last Jedi.
I
But
don't know what you're
they're
talking
setting
about.
stuff up.
There's
I'm
a sequel
seeing them
trilogy?
like
Yeah, what's that?
I only know of the
Misspoke. Sorry,
prequels and the
guys.
original.
I knew they made something in Legends, but I don't know if it was canon.
You mean the Dave Filoni movie that's coming? That's a sequel movie,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what we're
yeah.
talking about.
Movie, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's
Well,
exactly what.
Sequel?
Dave, prepare to reel this in. Here's my my
Wait,
ultimate.
I gotta cast the line.
Yeah.
This is my the ultimatum, the final what's next for the series finale.
Bum.
We're going to do like a 90s Spider-Man animated series thing where Ahsoka or one of the other characters is going to enter the Milky Way galaxy, go to Earth, watch a Star Wars movie, and then be like, That's not how that happened.
Yeah. This is
Nope.
way
Hold it
off.
back in. It's reeled in.
And
There
then
you go, Doug.
and then George would be like, I thought it was good.
Or
Like, I've always liked
Ahsoka's going to go
M&Ms.
to Earth and find a guy named George Lucas after a car crash.
Okay, and then tell him the story of
and then
the
tell him
Star
the story
Wars.
of the Star Wars.
I'm going to call it Blue Harvest. No, don't call it that.
Oh, and you've got Caleb. You've got Caleb says he's calling it the Dawn of the Jedi movie, adds a second long in the opening line a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Well, it is supposed to be
A
1,000
long,
years earlier, right?
long time ago
Mm.
in a galaxy far away.
Weird
That
Al.
move
Love
was
it.
under an attack.
Yeah, and I thought me and Qui-Gon Jinn could talk the Federation into
Oh, they're
maybe
both. All right, you guys
bettering
switch
one.
off lyrics because Doug almost did it
Little
by
snap.
himself the other week.
I know. Right? I
Their
know, and I was singing
response,
it along.
It didn't thrill us. They locked the
They
doors
locked the
and
doors
tried
and
to
tried
kill
to kill us.
We escaped from that gas. Met Jar Jar and
Jar
Boss
and
Nass.
Boss Nass. We took a bungo from the scene and we went to see the Queen.
Oh man,
We
we've
all
been
wound
demonetized.
up
on
on Tatooine.
Tatooine. That's where we found this
This
boy.
And
You're
were we
welcome,
singing?
everybody. Scene.
Me and Keith know Yoda. You guys know this song. Met him in a swamp down in Dagobah.
Where it bubbles all the time like a giant carbonated soda. S-O-D-A
Yo, 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 yo,
soda. But yeah, we should probably stop singing. I don't
Oh,
want.
yeah.
You
I
can
just,
definitely
I'm
tell
just-
the generational gap here with me and Doug and you guys.
Well, they're both by the same
Based off
artist,
of
too,
which
so that's
Weird Al
amazing.
song, yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
we're into.
I do love the fact that Weird Al Yankovic on I think it's either Blue Sky or Twitter. It's like at Al Yankovic, and his description is the weird one.
The
The
weird
weird
one. Oh, I love it. Oh man.
Are there other Al Yankovics?
I'm sure there are.
Oh yes, there's got to be.
Now, do you guys know I met
Alfred
Al
Yankovic.
Yankovic?
No.
So when I was living in
I did
when I was
too.
living in
Them too.
Kalamazoo, he was touring and he was playing the Allegan State Fair, I believe, somewhere in Allegan.
Mhm.
I think it was a state fair.
Hmm.
And we were at Club Soda that night seeing a band called the Poster Kids, and they're like a punk band, and really awesome. And we're
Nice.
standing there and we're listening to it, and the Poster Kids are just about to go on. It was the opening band. I can't remember their name. And they didn't go on till like 10 o'clock. And all of a sudden my buddy like nudges me and I'm like, what? He goes, look behind us. And I look and Weird Al Yankovic was standing right behind us. And I turn around and he goes,
Damn.
Weird Al? I'm like, I'm almost positive it is. And then we just turned around and
Not
we're like,
many
hey,
no
how,
people that look
mistaken.
like him.
yeah, we're like, how was your show tonight? He goes, oh, it was great, thanks. Were you guys there? We're like, no. He's like, cool.
See, you
least
got
you're
Caleb's
honest.
got a nice question for us. A
Ooh.
poll
Okay.
for us, if you will.
A poll.
Let's-
Hit it.
in any of the new movies that were announced, would you want to see Tatooine, or should Star Wars make a Tatooine appearance more sparse? I think we've
Way
seen
more
enough
sparse.
of Tatooine.
Bars.
Too much sand.
We've seen a lot of sand.
We have been there
Of
so
course.
much. I am
and
good.
rough. And
And
you know it
Joku
gets
has a lot of
everywhere,
sand
so-
too.
That was good. I don't like sand.
And Joku has too much sand too, so we don't
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah, we've
Jakku.
had enough sand planets. We're good.
There's quite a bit.
We need
Bit of
another
sand.
Space Miami. We
Mhm.
need to see another Hoth.
I'm good though with out seeing another casino planet though too. I don't want to go back to that.
The next
Sierra
guy
says they
says
should have
nothing
based the
but
show
Called
on
Tatooine,
Tatooine,
based on
called
Tatooine.
Tatooine.
And it's just
Based
the
on
living
Tatooine.
planet Tatooine.
It's just a bunch of tattoo artists.
Yeah.
Tattoo
Oh,
artist on Tatooine.
there we go.
And then the
Tattoo
That's how we got the
post-credits.
name.
And the post-credit scene is when the Sarlacc poops out Boba Fett.
Right.
He's just floating in space. I'm free.
Yeah, if they make a show about Tatooine, I hope it's like an anthology series where it's always somebody different that lives on Tatooine or just visits the spaceport and always
Yeah.
up to something crazy, because that has, for a desert planet, that's the most hoppinest center of the universe type planet in Star Wars.
I know, right?
Everything happens there.
Everything. It's
whatever
the
happens-
apex of all things.
It
You
should be
know,
whatever
I would-
happens at Los Eisley.
I would love to kind of see like speaking of like the idea of an anthology series, I would love to see like a little short film kind of thing that follows R4 or whatever that droid is.
R4, R5D4.
Yes, R5D4.
Yeah,
The one that blew up.
he is also
Yes.
in the
bad
from a certain
motivator.
point of view, Return of the Jedi. He's got a little bit in there too, so it
Oh,
kind
really?
of
I would
explains
just
how he
I would
gets
like to see it like from
Pelimoto.
his point of view, just like
Yeah.
watch him as he's interacting with everything over the years as he.
What did he
never
do
leaves
in the Rebel
Tatooine.
Alliance? Like, because he's the hero of the Rebel Alliance,
Mhm,
apparently,
mhm.
according to the Mandalorian. So,
He spent a lot of
use
time-
the restroom real quick, guys. I'll be right
Okay.
back. Okay.
All right.
Go for it.
Love the beat.
He spent a lot of time on a Jawa crawler, and so he knows all about the Jawas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if anyone knows about the Jawas, it's the Mandalorian, Pelimoto.
Billy Motti, yeah.
And don't forget,
she knows him intimately.
and that's my theory I have. I hope you guys didn't forget this, because I know it's coming up in Mandalorian season 4.
Oh no.
That one of the Jawas that the Mandalorian disintegrated in the second episode of the series
Pelly
was
child.
her ex-boyfriend.
Oh no.
And she's gonna find out and be pissed. It's gonna be her versus the Mandalorian for the entirety of season 4.
He's gonna be like, I didn't know they had names.
You've got Caleb. Imagine if in Dawn of the Jedi, we meet the first Jedi and he just offhandedly says, "Yeah, growing up on Tatooine was rough."
It's just a throwaway line. Yeah, you know what? I would like that. That would actually be good. I would much prefer just kind of offhandedly mention it. I really dig the way that Andor was introducing new planets to us, new locations, and even the Mandalorian. I love the idea of basically a big garbage prison colony.
Oh
was
yeah,
great.
that was so cool. Yeah,
Like,
to see them dismantling all that
it's a
stuff.
whole ass galaxy, guys.
Yeah.
We can go to other planets.
So much potential. Yeah, let's stop with the desert planet.
Mhm, mhm.
I mean, when's
Yeah,
the last
unless
time
I'm
you spent any
getting-
time on Corellia?
Last
Well,
episode.
episode 2.
So,
I mean, that's it, really. And well, I guess
Yeah.
Solo in the Solo movie.
and Solo. Yeah.
Mhm.
We haven't seen on anything on Alderaan. Sorry, guys.
Too
Oh,
soon. Too soon, Keith.
Too soon.
Oh.
I mean, it may have been a long time ago for you, but it was just yesterday for
Just
me.
yesterday for us. Yeah.
It
I still have
may have been a long time ago in a
PTSD
galaxy
from
far, far away for you.
Oh God.
it. Was Dave, was that a Doug impression? It kind of sounded like you were,
Did that sound like him? It was pretty
You're
good.
trying to sound like Doug. It's pretty good. Well done.
All right. All right, put that down in our jewels. I'll do a Doug impression.
let's do that as one of the jewels. Swap voices.
But it's 10,000.
Oh,
Joe.
gee.
Oh boy.
You got to be committed to get there.
Somebody's gonna save for that one. for
I don't
sure.
think I could do Dave or Keith. I don't know that I could pull off their voice.
I don't know if we'd let you. It's a joke. Whatever you do.
Are you frozen?
Oh, there you go.
There
He's
we go.
from
He's
Family Guy
unfrozen.
now. You better
I
explain that one
get
to the
it.
fan.
It's funny because it's true.
Oh,
These scrolls are about to be replaced with new scrolls after this episode.
We have to go and get more DNA from our. We are the humans who
Yes.
are known
Hello.
as Dave and Keith.
I am the Keith, the real Keith, the true Keith, your brother Keith.
I am here to talk about human things with my fellow humans. I
okay.
do always laugh.
I have
because
the right number of fingers and skin.
What do I do with my hands?
I want a Drax
love
arm.
Talladega Nights.
Can I have a Drax
Thank
arm,
you.
please?
Yeah.
Yes,
Good
you
job,
can have a
Bill.
Drax arm. You got to get
Yeah.
the Super Scroll program first, Dave. Then you can have the
Right.
Drax arm.
There you
Tattoos
go.
and all.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to Chernobyl, baby. I'm going to
Did
find
you
it.
watch? Did you watch Special Investigation yet?
I've seen half of it, but I was spoiled. I know exactly what happens at the end with Gaia getting all the powers from
She's the
everybody and being the most powerful thing in the universe. I'm like, really?
And we'll never see her again.
Never, right?
Never mentioned again. Every pickle that they get into.
So
it
when
would really be great to have a super scroll about now.
when we have like the Celestials coming back, to claim their little baby or whatever, or when we've got Galactus showing up,
Yeah.
and somebody says, "Hey, shouldn't we call Gaia?" Oh, she's off world.
Yep. She's with Miss Marvel. Off world again, Captain Marvel.
Well, this kind of seems like a good time to get in touch with her.
Yeah.
She got called to the planet Peloton 2. Peloton, like the
A
bikes?
lot of biking on that planet.
No. She's away stopping something. Oh, that's too bad. We could really use her right now.
Right.
Oh, well.
Actually, she's going to be back post Secret Wars when the
Uh-huh.
real Skrull invasion happens.
Mhm. Sure.
It won't just be a secret investigation, or it won't be a special investigation. It'll be a secret invasion.
Uh-huh. Wherever she goes ain't going to be a secret.
Dun, dun, dun.
But she can shapeshift. She can be a secret.
Yeah, but
she could be
they could
Ahsoka
make-
right now. She
they
could
can make
be
a
Sabine.
device to detect
Yeah.
her from outer
Don't-
space.
Don't let those streams cross, please.
Right.
No crossing the stream, guys. No crossing the stream. I don't want it.
Wait. Egon, you said crossing the streams was bad.
Bad thing.
In this universe, it is.
I mean, I love Patton Oswalt, but no, I don't want that.
No, they won't do it.
Don't mix those flavors.
We have a better shot of DC and Marvel making a movie together than
Yeah.
having Star Wars and
I
Marvel.
would
you
actually
heard
pay
his,
big money.
Have you heard
for
his
that.
bit about if he had access to time travel?
Oh, I haven't.
Oh, yeah.
Oswald?
Oh,
Yeah, Patton Oswalt. He goes, but I would be a real nerd about it. I would go back and I would talk to George Lucas, and he'd probably try and really sell me on the prequels and be like, oh hey, so you like Darth Vader? Oh, I love Darth Vader. Oh, he's great. He's got the helmet and the cape and on the dark side. Oh, in this new movie, you get to see him as a little sad kid, and he says he misses his mom. Oh.
Oh,
Well, that
great.
doesn't sound cool at all.
I wish they would have gone with the original story too that George Lucas was starting with, where Anakin
The
was
midichlorian?
a teenager in the first movie.
That would have been way better.
A lot of stuff would have made way more sense. That he was too old, that he could actually. He's been doing the pod races for a while, and that,
It would have made
it
his
wasn't
attraction
creepy
to
with
Padme way less creepy.
way less creepy. So yeah, originally he was supposed to be a teenager, which would have
They really
way
should have done
more
that.
sense.
Like,
Yeah.
no offense to the kid actor who played baby Anakin, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's very rarely does it work out well when you're, one of your main actors is a kid,
Mhm. Yeah, and it didn't work.
especially
Like,
a precocious, whiny kid.
yeah, and it was hard for him growing up apparently, and he got into a lot of trouble too as an adult. He's been arrested several times as well. So yeah, I really feel for him.
Yeah, that they could have done a much better job. Instead of him as a kid, no one cares about him on
Yeah.
Tatooine growing up. We want to see him as a Jedi and slowly falling to the dark side, slowly being manipulated by good guy Palpatine, and making sure,
It's your buddy Palpatine.
Join the Empire.
Stormtrooper.
Order.
Stormtrooper. You ever see
Yeah,
that
but
one where
if I
he's
had a
going up
time-
the escalator and he runs in all the stormtroopers? They're like,
Yes.
fire, and he's like, Stormtrooper. And then finally they get by, he's like,
Drova.
like,
Drova.
he's like, F you.
I love the Robot Chicken skits. They're so good.
Yeah, those are good.
Oh my God, he's crying again. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'll take the tuna salad.
You've been floating in space for 2 weeks? Wow, you must smell like a locker room or
Burnt leather.
burnt leather.
What the hell is the aluminum falcon?
What do you got an ATM on that light bright chest of yours? How am I gonna pay for this? I'm not even done paying for that yet.
Oh Lord. An entire prison had an escape. You know how long it took to build all of those pieces?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Why
Sierra,
didn't
you gotta
any
stop.
of Luke's...
Nice one,
Why?
Sierra.
We got to read that.
Always followed.
Why didn't any of Luke Skywalker's marriages last? He always followed Obi-Wan's advice. Use divorce, Luke.
Use divorce, Luke, and get a prenup if you're at while you're at it.
That was really good. That was so good. Luke, what you don't understand is, they be tripping.
Even in this galaxy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, she's got one more.
Oh, got
What
one
was
more.
Lando's-
Okay.
What was Lando's nickname before he became a skilled pilot? Crash Dough.
Old Crash Dough.
Instead of Lando.
Oh,
Oh,
Ah.
Sierra.
Aha.
Wow.
All right,
That
for
is
those
a
now,
knee
even,
slapper.
yeah, everyone has to cash in something for those now. That's Sierra.
It's so bad.
It is.
Yes.
Sierra.
That was so terrible.
Agreed. That was a bad one.
But still better than the dialogue between Anakin and Padme in Attack of the Clones.
Ugh.
So,
Definitely.
From the moment I met you.
You know, if you took away the romance part of Attack of the Clones, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
great might be a
Well,
little strong.
I like the Obi-Wan part.
I did.
I did like
There
the
was- there
Obi-Wan.
was
I wish
parts
they
I
would have
liked.
focused more on him.
Hello
we
there.
run out of things to talk about on Ahsoka after an hour and a half, after a 30-minute episode.
Yeah.
And once again,
Yeah.
our episode of We Talk About It longer than the episode lasted.
Yes, we did it.
We got to
Do
analyze.
you guys have a pulled up how long the next episode is going to be? Is it going to be another short episode like this?
Oh, geez.
No?
I hope not.
I've not seen how long the next one's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it'll pop up over the weekend. Someone will, whoever figures it out will pop up. You'll see it's going to be, 50 minutes with 5 minutes of credits or something like that. But
I know. I hate
I
that when
haven't
they
seen
add the
anything yet.
credits in there. It's like, come on. Give me the time when it's actually running. Sans credits. So let's see here.
Does episode 4's runtime fixes episode 3's biggest mistake? But it doesn't say how long it is. It says around a half hour.
Episode 3's biggest mistake. What's its biggest mistake? Is that it was
Too
so
short. Yeah, I
Oh,
guess.
Okay. So yeah, maybe it is. gonna be
Honestly, we
longer.
said that in the beginning of our stream that
Mhm.
if there's anything wrong, it'd be the fact that it was just short. I mean, granted, they told the story perfectly, but I wanted more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did too.
I
And,
knew when they
uh,
showed Baylan standing there, I knew it was over, and I was like, please don't be. Please don't. Then credits come up, and I'm like, oh. But then I
Um,
was dancing to the song, so I was pretty happy.
According
Okay,
to X, episode 4 will be approximately 42 minutes, 38 minutes,
Yep.
and 27 seconds. Wow.
That's what I got as well.
Yep.
I got episode
38
5
minutes.
is going to be 49 minutes.
Interesting.
Oh, in episode 5, I think that's the one directed by Dave Filoni. So expect some cool
Nice.
stuff in that one as
Alright.
Now,
well.
there's only 6 episodes?
8.
8.
8. Okay.
altogether. So
Good.
we
They
got
have a
5 more
story to
left.
tell.
Yeah,
Cool.
and
Cool.
They're driving it by the story instead of the runtime, so I'm totally fine with
Oh,
what
yeah.
we got this week. And
Yeah.
in talking about directors, Steph Green was the director of this episode and last week's episode.
Mhm.
Dave Filoni did the first episode, so Dave Filoni's going to do he did number 1, and he'll do
Mhm.
number 5 as well. But Steph Green, I think, did a phenomenal job with these last 2 episodes. I think that a lot of props have to be given to the director.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely. I was getting
Sorry,
like
I
reading
am
a
fresh
book.
out of absolutely juice.
Sometimes you get a short
I
chapter
would
in a
give you
book.
some.
You know,
Yeah,
it's just
that's
like reading a
true.
book.
Absolutely.
Excellent point.
Well said. Well
That's
said,
the
Dave.
chapters I read and then go, I can read one more before I go to bed.
I feel smart.
Right.
And then it's the super long
I read
chapter.
2
You're like,
chapters tonight.
Right.
why is
And
this
then
book
it's
on my face? What's going on?
Yeah. So
and Sierra
the next
wants to know-
episode
Oh, go
is
ahead.
Peter Ramsey. So
And do you know who directs episode 8?
8 will be Rick Famuyiwa, who has directed a lot of the Mandalorian episodes. He directed a ton of last season.
Some of his Mandalorian episodes are my favorite, so I am happy that
he's
he
a great
is
director.
wrapping up this series.
Me too.
So Sierra wants to know, what does Ahsoka rate on the Doug scale right now? And I do believe.
Do we want to take the episode?
Yeah, we can do the episode and then do overall, just because we kind
As
of
we
did
go
overall
along?
last week.
I think that's
'Cause
great. Yeah.
Who are we
Dave, you want
starting
to
with?
kick us off?
Okay, I'll go first. This episode, to me, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna keep in line with my first 2 episodes. I'm gonna give this a 9. I still like this a whole series on a 9 level.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be something really amazing to be a 10, something like but it's getting there, you know. It's like Andor was a 10 for me, or a 9.8, I think I gave it. That because that show was amazing. And this show is starting to get there.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Especially if you watched, you know, if you started with the Clone Wars and you watched Rebels and now you're watching Ahsoka, it's just a natural progression of this character. And it's awesome. It's like, you know, you can even still appreciate it, like you said earlier, Chris, that if you haven't watched those shows, you can still appreciate it because of the way they're explaining things. So yeah, it's still a 9 for me. Who's next?
Yeah, you know what? I definitely have to give this episode a 9 as well. Literally the only thing that I could say that I was displeased with, if even that seems too strong of a word, was the fact that it was short and I just wanted more. It was that good.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the character development. I loved how they showed us what sort of relationship that Ahsoka and Sabine had with each other. I loved,
love that dynamic.
I love the Hu Yang being as truthful as ever, and constantly reminding us why the Jedi Council, why the Jedi didn't really work out in the end. You know, with his constant, they never would have accepted her. Well, you know, maybe they should have. Maybe they should have been a bit more.
Where are they now?
Exactly. I loved so much about this. I love the fact that we finally got to see the Purgles up close in live action. That was great. Everything about this episode was perfect, and I wanted more. So easily, this one is a 9 out of 10 for me.
And now overall, I think you gave it a 7.5 last week.
Overall. I'm gonna raise it up to an 8.5.
Nice.
Dang, nice.
Yep, I still have a couple of, my nitpicks from the previous 2 episodes. Very few, but they're still there. You know, they haven't disappeared. But this episode definitely raised it up. And if it keeps going in this direction, having this trajectory of being this good, and like Dave said, I mean, it's up there with Andor for me. So like, if it keeps going like this.
Yeah.
I could easily seeing it getting up close to like basically almost a 10 out of 10. And that's very rare for me.
Right.
You know what a 10 out of 10, before we go to anybody else, you know what a 10 out of 10 would be? Mandalorian season 2 finale.
Yeah, that's the benchmark for sure.
Yeah.
That was very good.
For all the freaking
everything was perfect in that episode.
Yeah. I cried. I swear I cried when I saw that. Yeah.
Man enough to admit, I bawled like a baby.
When I saw that X-Wing, I was like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, it literally did give us everything.
So, Chris, you're
absolutely.
Next. Oh.
Absolutely.
After the absolutely, Chris will give us his rating.
I think we're gonna all be similar. We'll see what Keith says, but yeah, this episode definitely a 9 out of 10 for me, hands down. I felt that way the first time I watched it. Felt that way the second time I watched it. I love that Ahsoka is leaning into Kurosawa and all the old Japanese movies from back in the day, which is what George Lucas drew inspiration from. With The Mandalorian, we got more of the Western, the spaghetti Western type of feel. But for this, we're getting the old samurai back. And that at its core is what Ahsoka is all about. It's built into her character. It's built into her music. And it's beautifully done in this. I love that, like I said earlier, I love that we're getting a new perspective on the Jedi. And this new idea, which is actually an old idea, that everyone can use the Force, that everyone can be trained and develop their Force sensitivity, as it were. And so I love that we're getting those ideas in here now, because the original intent of the original trilogy was this farm boy came from nothing in the backwoods of nowhere and became the hero of the galaxy. So anybody could be the hero, and this is coming along with that. It's paying homage to all of that stuff that we got to see in the original trilogy and treading new path as well. We getting to see the Purgles for the first time, which looked so amazing. And just like you said, Doug, the dynamics between Sabine and Ahsoka are beautifully done. We see them building that connection a lot more, them playing off each other. And I think, Keith, you said it perfectly before, how Ahsoka is such a great trainer, that she's learning as she goes, as the master too, and adjusting her way of training Sabine for who she is rather than what the Jedi were before. And what we're seeing with Hu Yang and all of his funny stuff, and just a beautiful character too as a droid. And just, man, yeah, all of it, the action, the effects, once again, just blowing it out of the water. And I'm still excited for next week. I feel like this is coming up towards what we got with Andor, with the brilliance and the beauty of this, as well as the effects as well, and the story and the soundtrack as well. So it's right up there for me. So overall for Ahsoka so far, I think it's sitting around an 8 out of 10 too on the Doug scale. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be a lot of disagreement from me with what you guys have laid down so far. So Keith, take away the final.
I said it from the start. My only complaint with this episode was its runtime.
The time, yeah.
Everything else was exactly what I think a Star Wars show should be. We got the banter between Ahsoka and Sabine with backstory that we don't know yet, which we can learn down the line. We got Hu Yang, who is just the perfect sort of robot. He's, well, this is my programming. This is how it is. He's very honest.
Right.
When Sabine's like, I don't think I have what it takes to be a Jedi, and he goes, agreed.
Just like, oh, dude, you suck, Sabine.
That's just me.
And we got these villains that are just very, they're not shallow by any stretch. There's depth to them. There's backstory,
like an onion,
which we can learn into. And all of the villains together aren't necessarily all on the same page. They're working together now, but we know that split is coming sometime soon, and they've done a great job of setting it up. We've got fan service all over the place with the Mortis gods and all of its imagery,
but done right.
We've got it. Yes, done right. We got the Purgles in live action, and they didn't just throw them in because we wanted to see them. They make sense to this story. And probably, as Chris put it,
the story.
How Ahsoka and them are going to get to that other galaxy once the Eye of Sion comes out. We got, shout outs to Knights of the Old Republic, the Sith Lords. We've got shout outs to the Inquisitors and their backstory. It's almost like being a kid again and watching this.
Good point.
I think this third episode is about a 9.2 out of 10. And it would have been higher if it was a little longer. And I think I gave it a 7.5 for the first 2 episodes, but this is bringing it up to about an 8.6 because all of my gripes with the first 2 episodes is all coming into line with where they're going. And I couldn't be happier. I was so worried about this before it came out. I'm like, I'm so excited. My hype level was up there. And all I could think of, I was so hyped for the Book of Boba Fett. And that turned out to be such a disappointment.
Yeah.
It had its moments.
I don't know. 2 of the episodes were pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
That didn't feature Boba Fett.
Dave Filoni just knows where he wants to go with these characters and writes them so incredibly well. I am absolutely immersed in every episode. And it's nice that I can watch them, at night instead of getting up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, having it come
3
out
a.m.?
on a
You must be
Tuesday
lonely.
night, beautiful.
Oh, it's good. Good little deep cut there.
So that gets a overall 8.6 from Keith. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
and
Man,
I
we're
mean,
all pretty similar with this.
Yeah,
it's
an
nice
incredible
too
show.
because I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys saw this. There was a bunch of information about how many views this had, and they were saying
Oh,
the first
I
two
haven't looked it up.
episodes only had 1.2 million views. This was coming out unofficially, and Lucasfilm came out and said 14 million people watched the premiere of Ahsoka. I was like, dang, that blows away the Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, everything.
Yeah.
And I think it has a
Yeah.
lot to do with people just like, it's almost universally loved by people. I mean, people who usually hate all of the new Star Wars, like Star Wars Theory, he's been digging it. The Den
Yeah.
of Nerds has been like, wow, I think Star Wars is saved. And all these people who love to bash the Disney Star Wars aspect are like, dang, this is actually pretty.
Don't say the word.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and looking up
Yeah.
the Rotten Tomato score, the critics rating is actually higher than the audience score. It's sitting at an 87% for the critics rating. Audience score is 75%.
That's surprising
Yeah, that is. surprising.
Yeah, that is surprising.
because
I'd say to people who haven't seen the show that are like
Yeah.
they
Do
put
you-
it down, and I'm like,
do you think
haven't
that's what
watched
it is? That's why I have issue with Rotten Tomatoes sometimes. Is you don't have to have
Anybody.
seen the show to give it a rating.
No.
So I
And
wonder how many
sometimes
of these are.
review bombs and things
Yeah.
like that too. Like
Yeah.
some people, like with the political stuff, they
Since when is there
Go on
women's
there.
in my Star Wars?
yeah. So for
Yeah.
this one, I'm really leaning into the critics score. That feels like a more accurate
Mhm.
score of 87%.
And
And-
you know what's an even more accurate and far better score?
ours.
That is the Not Your Status Quo / Fatherly Fandom.
That's
Clear.
right.
That's
It's
the only score
clearly
that matters.
the
and
gold
the only one.
standard.
Correct.
It
that
is.
You're gonna have. You can
The
trust
only one
in
that anybody should listen
our
to.
ratings. Yeah.
This
It's
guy-
the
Bother
best.
paid by
It is
me.
the best car standard.
Oh, the best guard.
best
I love
guard
it.
standard.
It's strong. It could stand up against the lightsaber guy. So
And so
so
far,
strong.
the ratings for the show are
Good
upside
best
down.
car.
Because Keith, I'm normally at rating everything lower than Keith, and I think I rated it the highest out of anybody. I gave it.
I think
a
you
9.
did,
The first two,
actually.
yeah.
So we're upside down on this scale.
Weird.
But that's okay. That's why we have, so many of us on this channel. So we all have our
Mhm.
different views and opinions. And it's always
Sure.
great when we all come together
okay.
like we are for Ahsoka, just because
Yeah.
it's what I think most of us got into Star Wars with, this kind of
Mhm.
storytelling and stuff. So it's what we want. It's
True.
awesome.
Yeah, and
by
sometimes
the
it's
way-
good to have a different opinion too, and to have like those conversations. Like I like that when somebody like thinks something's terrible that I like, and that develops good dialogue. But yeah, for this show, it is only making me enjoy the experience more. Talking about this with you fellas here and getting to
Mhm.
share that love of all things Star Wars. So it's definitely invigorated me a lot. So
Well, glad to hear it, man. I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear it.
you know.
And by the way, if
And
you're
it-
watching out there, next week will be on Wednesday instead of Thursday for the next
Wednesday.
5 weeks.
Wednesday.
Next 5
While
weeks, yes.
Ahsoka's on.
With hopefully continuing with our very special guest, Fatherly Fandom.
Hey, as long as you're willing to let me come, I'll be here.
Hey,
All
look,
right.
as long as you keep
Great.
paying us,
Yeah, I might
Hold on,
run
let me
out of
check.
some money here and there.
Let me check my
Kids don't need
Venmo.
to eat. Yeah. Okay, you can
Feed
come.
your kids, you starve.
Hey, kids, you don't need to eat a dinner every once in a while, all right? You're good? Yeah? Okay. They're good. We're all on board, so I'll be
Great.
coming on.
Get,
They're all
they can
like-
share a hot pocket.
Have some
whenever you
crazy
make over-
Pockets. Caliente buckets.
So did you write the jingle for us? Yeah.
Hot Pocket. Genius.
Kelly-
Don't put all those
Kelly
ideas in a
and
bushel
Chris.
basket.
It's deep, it's meaningful, it gets right to the point.
Mhm.
Gold, Jerry, I tell you, gold.
Yeah. What are we gonna run in Spain?
Go.
Caliente bucket.
Why do they call it Ovaltine? It's in a round container. They should call it Roundtine.
Round
The mug's
team.
round, the lid's round. That's gold, Jerry.
Gold, Jerry, gold.
When I was a kid, they used to run Ovaltine commercials
Oh,
still
Banyan.
on TV, and I remember I was because Saturday morning cartoons with the marketing was perfection. They were really good at getting kids to bug their parents to buying whatever. And I remember I
Oh,
kept bothering my mom. I wanted
Ovaltine?
was it like cream of cocoa or whatever it was called? It was like this
Cocoa wheats.
cocoa wheats.
Cocoa wheats.
So disgusting, by the way.
Boy.
I had convinced my mom that we had to get cocoa wheats and we had to get Ovaltine because the TV said so.
Did you do it?
Oh, she did. She goes, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to like this. It's an acquired taste. I grew up with Ovaltine. You did not. I'm like,
Oh,
no,
you-
no, the TV said I was going to love it. I didn't like it. She mixed it with water, I think. It was just, yuck.
Oh,
Once
Yeah.
again,
Oh, it's like
anyone who has
Yoo-hoo.
kids knows the power of advertising.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
yeah. Yes, you do.
How
They
many
always
of
put
those
that stuff at eye level too? All the crap down there, and it's just
How many
I
of those
did.
70 like balloons did you buy that you can inflate all at once? The water balloons where you got the
Oh.
little thing, you fill them up all at once. How many of those did
oh
you buy?
yeah, yeah. They've asked for them several times, but
Okay, Sierra.
Sierra's got more
is
dad
still,
jokes.
I was gonna say, what is Admiral
she's still doing-
Akbar's favorite type of music? Trap.
You can
It's
tell
a
that's my daughter.
And then, where does Princess Leia shop for Father's Day?
Oh,
At the
Oh.
Darth Mall.
oh
boy.
Oh,
Sierra,
No.
where are you getting these?
I think there's no other way to end the show than on that note.
Oh
Sierra,
boy, yeah.
stop.
oh.
We should find somebody
Making
to
your
raid
dad
here.
proud, Sierra.
She is.
You know
Yeah.
what? Terrible Gaming is still on.
Oh, let's rate them. Their AI Trey is on, and we got a bunch from her last time.
Oh, she is. Oh, they're both
Yeah.
playing Starfield too,
Starfield.
which I cannot wait to play. It is preloaded on my Series X, thanks to
Oh, yeah.
Ultimate Game
Starfield's a new
Pass?
Bethesda game, isn't it?
yep.
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
I don't know if you saw the. There
So
was
you don't
a
have to sit there
thing
for
on-
like 4 hours waiting for it to load, right?
They said the least buggy Bethesda launch
Oh.
ever.
Nice.
Oh, come on. You've got to, when I boot it up, I have to
Wait.
at least fall through an entire planet.
Well, they said least buggy. They didn't say it was free of bugs.
Yes,
no,
it's not
it never
bug
Be a
bug
bug
free.
without it.
Never bug free.
Speaking of that, speaking of Starfield, the real Eleonora is also streaming Starfield. She is one of the biggest Fallout 4 modders, and also a big Skyrim modder. She was so good at coming up with mods that Bethesda hired her to work on the Creation Club stuff.
Wow.
Oh wow!
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
Should we raid her?
We could, yeah. She's
Lucky.
only got 76 people, which is weird. She's very, very popular in the modding.
Big
scene.
How do you
Huh?
how do you spell her username? Say
Hold
it
on,
slow.
give
I'm
me
not
1
very
second.
young.
I'm gonna copy and paste it.
Give you a second. What? I don't have a first. What's going on here?
Huh?
Is this thing on? Can anyone hear me?
There.
I gotcha. I
Is it
got
working?
you. Yeah.
Hello?
You see it?
Crickets.
I can see it. Can I
Okay.
copy and
tweet? X. I guess.
all the little birdies on Jaybird Street? I could even copy and paste it. Thank you, technology.
Outstanding.
And if you guys haven't done so, make sure you buy some merch from these guys. I just bought my shirt, and
Did
it's
you?
coming in the mail. Yeah, Doug. So I got the Arabesh shirt coming, the rusty one.
Oh, I
so-
love
yeah.
it. Was
Waiting
so
for it in the
fun
mail.
making that
Those
because
are
when
awesome,
I
man. You did
found
a good
out
job.
that there were not just one but several Arabesh fonts available online, oh,
Mhm.
I got so excited.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll be sporting that on one of these coming up. Hopefully it'll get here by next week. So
That would
that's
be
my,
so cool.
my goal. Hopefully it
And
gets here. Come
order
on,
some
post
Fatherly
office.
Fandom merch too, because
Yes.
Oh yeah, I do have a shop
he's
too.
got great stuff. So I'm gonna have to get that. Remind me to get Stream Deck loaded up with your stuff too, so we can load your YouTube, we can load your swag
yeah.
shop.
Need to get all that stuff on there too. And if you guys haven't subscribed to Not Your Status Quo, okay, if you haven't done that already, what are you doing?
Right?
Get over there right now. Such good content on there. They're awesome guys. Letting a guy like me come on here for only a couple $100, so it's great. Great.
Hey, don't forget to send those
It's a
pictures we
deal.
talked about too.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yeah. We'll discuss that off air. So
Okay, but
Well,
thanks
well-
everybody. Don't forget Sunday night we'll be back, maybe playing Jedi Survivor, maybe talking some news if anything comes out during this writer and actor strike. And don't forget to hit us up at Twitter, leave a comment down below, and we will see you next time on Not Your Status Quo.